Hi, everybody. Welcome to Consistently Creative Crew. I'm Colleen, along with my partners, Kari and Cheryl. And tonight I'll be leading you through Life at the Lake project recipe, which is shown here. I created a sample and I want to walk you through what you need from my sample. And I also, this is Life at the Lake, but I did a pool layout with it. So just lets you know how flexible it is. What you need is two base papers that are the same, or album pages, and that would be the green on my layout. You need two decorative pieces of paper, designer pieces of paper. The floral is one of them, and the coral is the other, so they're not the same. And you need one piece of coordinating cardstock and a border maker cartridge that stays attached. Since this was pools, I did waves, and your trimmer and tape runner. And that is what is needed for the layout tonight. And while you're getting your tools together and your papers, Cheryl's going to talk to us about a pop-up promotion that starts tomorrow at 1.
Yes, so tomorrow that starts at 1 o'clock. There is a promotion for a lovely sunshine bag. It's like a canvas tote bag. It's very pretty. And there are some sunshine embellishments that go with it. And that is a $29 for that bundle. And you can also get, if you spend $75, with your advisor can get this for you for free. This is an exclusive advisor only item, but if you get a hold of your advisor, they can order for you and get this for you. So go ahead and get a hold of your advisor. This is a magnetic frame. You can see the magnet stick on your refrigerator or wherever. And it is for a 4x6 photo. And then these are these cute little magnetized sentiments and little shapes and whatnot that can go around it on the fridge, or if you were to add it, say here, you could add it there on the photo, and maybe even here, something like that. So that would be really pretty. And this is a fun little special you can get. So check that out tomorrow, starting at 1 o'clock.
And I'll share my screen and show what the bag looks like.
Oh, thank you. Cool.
So here is what the Sunshine Bundle looks like. It has this tote bag, getting us ready for summer, and these golden sunshine layered embellishments. So you can see all of these sunny, bright colors for us to use. And the tote bag looks really nice, and it will fit our book covers, so our cover sets.
Right.
Nice.
And Noreen did a very nice craft and fun with Noreen tonight with the products that are on the special right now. So the Buy It All bundle for the new collection and the paper buffet, the cardstock buffet. So if you check out Noreen's what she did on Facebook, well, it's actually on YouTube now. You can see all of that as well.
Great. Thanks, Cheryl.
I'll share the advisor guide with their paper selections before you get going. Yep. So this is the advisor guide, and as Colleen had already said, there was one sheet of cardstock to use, 2 sheets of base paper, and 2 sheets of designer paper to cut. And then they have a couple of suggested pairings from this collection, and you can see them here. So they're quite a wide variety of types of layouts that you could actually do with this kit. There's a number of things. So I will turn it back over to Colleen.
That's Cheryl.
Oops.
I was trying to turn it over.
Dawn.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, good. All right, so here's the project recipe. It's you should be able to access it in our files of Consistently Creative Croppers. It's attached there. And again, I'm using a border maker cartridge, and you want one that stays attached. The paper stays attached. I happen to be using Tree Line because I'm going to do a hike for my photos that I have today. You could also do a border punch, as long as it stayed attached. So you need, repeating here, you need 2 papers for your base. I happen to be using papers or albums. And then you need 2 designer papers that are different, and you only use one side. And I'm going pretty traditional with what they showed on the project recipe. I have the wood and the moose and bear, which is pretty cool because I have a picture of a moose to go on my page. And then since I'm doing the tree line, I chose this color green as my cardstock. And you really don't need, besides your border maker cartridge and your trimmer, you're good to go. This is not a tool heavy layout. So if there aren't any questions, we can get started. No questions. Okay, from designer paper number 1. This is the cutting guide, and it's 2.5 strip, a 3.5 strip, and then a 4x4 square, which we cut in half. You can see you have a lot of room with leftovers to do other things, or if you want to change the size of your photos. And by saying that, I want to show you the sample that I made. I changed the photo on the right-hand side. This is supposed to be 2 3.5 by 3.5 photos. And since that didn't work with this page layout, I made it into a 4x6, and you have plenty of paper to do that. As always, it's a recipe. You just make adjustments to what works for what you have. So we're going to take designer paper number 1, and since mine has a pattern on it, I'm going to turn it sideways, and I'm going to cut at a directional pattern.
What are we cutting here, Colleen? The 2 cuts that we're making, is this the background floral, or is this
Yes,
what lays up?
it's the background floral.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Yep. So we're going to cut at 2.5. I'm glad I practiced this because I didn't get this right when I practiced it. And then turn it and cut it 5 twice. And these go at the top of your page. And then this little piece is extra. Diane's here, let her in. So you have 2 pieces that are 5 inches by 2.5. And then the next cut is 3.5 inches. Gonna rotate it, cut it at 5 twice. And then the remainder is scrap. You can use for your embellishments, part of your journaling. So again, we have 2 pieces that are 5 by 3.5. And then the last piece you cut is 4 by 4, and that's part of the triangles on the side. Do this. The last cut is 4 by 4, and then everything that's remainder is scrap. And then we're going to cut this on a triangle. On an angle, you line up the top point on the dotted line and the bottom point on the dotted line, and you cut your triangle in half. And set that aside. And your second designer paper, you cut it 6 inches. And that is the only cut. Decide if you have a directional paper, decide which way you want your paper to go. And now this goes across the center of your 2 pages. And now we're going to set aside our trimmer and we're going to take out our border maker cartridge or punch. I'm doing tree line to go with my hiking photos. Use cardstock. Punch out your border and then trim it to 2 inches. Got a little aggressive with my punching. I'm just going to spin it around and punch the other side. Punch a second border, and then you want to trim it to 2 inches. Okay. Just going to go, since these trees, I'm going to go to the top of my trees at the 2-inch line. Same thing again. And now we have a 6x4 mat. So I will cut at 4. And then rotate and cut at 6. Now this is where on my sample I did something different. The next instruction is to cut 2 4x4 squares. And that's what I'm going to do right now. Cut at 4. Rotate, cut at 4. And then cut at 4. And then you need a 3x3 square to go into the triangle. This is not a mat. Creating a 3x3 square. And everything else is scraps. We're going to cut our square, our 3x3 inch square in half, line up the dotted line at the top and the bottom. The point is right at the top and bottom. And that is it. We have cut everything, and now it's on to assembly. How's everybody doing? Do we need time, a pause to catch up?
I'm still catching up on the cardstock. Cut 2 4x4 squares
Yes.
and then use the rest to do how many 3x3 squares? Just one?
One. Just one.
Are the 2 4x4 squares for photos?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to hold on that.
Yes. And that's where I adjusted and made one 4x6.
Got it. The 3x3 though are for the little.
It's for the triangles. Yes.
Okay, but I thought I just wanted to make sure I was
Yep.
reading and hearing that correctly. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So then it's just a matter of laying it out. Put your 2.5 by 5 piece is on the center across the top. Then you right below it, you put your 6 by 12 inch pieces. Go all the way across the page. On top of that, you put your border. And then across the bottom, you put the other 5 inch by 3.5 inch pieces. So the larger pieces of designer paper number 1 are on the bottom. And you stack your triangles. On either side. Now only 3 of the photos are matted. And you can choose to add more mats. So that's the layout. I didn't realize I was off screen. On my sample, see how the trees just kind of look like they're floating out there? I ended up tucking my waves under the top piece and just bringing them down a little bit more. I just thought there was a little bit extra space there. Again, it's a recipe. It's a suggestion. You do what looks good and works for your layout. So are there any questions before we take a pause to assemble? Okay then. Hi everyone, welcome back. I love the magic of video. Here is the completed layout. Because I can't minimize my photos enough, I have peekaboo pockets. Whoops. Oh, that photo isn't down. All that jibber jabbering I just did, I could have stuck that photo down. So with this layout, I followed the project recipe, except I tucked my border under the top a little bit because I just thought it stuck out too much. So this photo is a 6 by 4, and this is a 4 by 4. And then here it was to be 3.5 by 5.5, but because I have a peekaboo pocket, I made it, I kept the regular size and I cut another piece of cardstock to make it 4.5 by 6.5.
Oh.
And these 2 photos here are 3.5 by 3.5. And then again, I have a 6 by 4 photo over here with peekaboo pocket. And then I added my journaling box down here. Doesn't everybody take pictures of animal scat? And then I just thought it was kind of cute that I added the outhouse down here also.
Very cute.
So that is the layout. I did use foam squares to pop up my title and my some of my embellishments to give it a little bit more depth. I think it's cute. And I like how it's so very different. I use the same one, and here's lake, here's lake life and it's hiking. And here, we're at the pool. And this sample is, I made the second photo into just a 4 by 6 because that's just what worked for my layout. So I hope that you had fun creating with us. And
Excellent.
if you made it tonight, then you can please post a photo. I will create an out folder because I didn't do that to put it in. And let's see, I think Cheryl has there's other people that can share with us. Cheryl, do you want to share yours?
Sure. We good. I used the tent and trees border maker cartridge, but what I did is I didn't go anywhere where there was any tents. I have my pictures not printed but selected, so I know what orientation to have them and whatnot, but there were no tents there. We were just hiking and looking at waterfalls and stuff. So I used this border maker cartridge and I used the measurement of 1 1/4 inches rather than the 2 inches. So I've actually cut 2 borders on each one, and I cut off the 10th, and then I flipped one of the borders so that, I don't know if you can see it, but I just sort of cut off the 10ths and layered it on top of one another, and with flipping it, it ends up that they're in the right space. And I just wanted to use this Border Maker cartridge because I don't know if you guys noticed, but the trees in the center where the trees join, it makes a little heart. So I just thought it was kind of cute. So I wanted to use that.
Very cute.
And I basically did exactly the layout that Colleen did. I did combine a couple of embellishments from, was it Happy Camper?
Yeah.
This and this are from that. And I have a few more embellishments when I get my pictures put down that I will add. But anyway, thanks, Colleen. Fun.
Nice. Does anyone else want to share?
Okay, I got my title on, so I guess I can share. Okay, it's
Okay.
still really embellished, though. Hang on one second. Sorry. Thought I had it down, but maybe I don't. Okay. Yeah. I did photos of the Key Bridge, which if you have been watching the news recently, you'll know that it collapsed in March. I used the, is that the bridge?
Yes, that's the bridge.
Cartridge?
EMC. Mm-hmm.
And over here, I'll have a peekaboo pocket. I don't have my page protector on, sorry. That has a historic photo of the bridge under construction. This one's a little trickier to see, but it is the bridge completed, and then it's the bridge later in the morning of the day that it collapsed.
Nice. That's a really nice layout.
Very nice.
All
Looking
right.
forward to seeing that when it's all done.
Thank you.
Ari, can you share?
Sure. So I did traditional with Serene
Ooh.
Waters, but I didn't get in far enough to get the mats. I've got the mats. I don't have my photos on, but I'm working on that. So I
Oh,
had
love how you
scraps.
cut your paper. That's so pretty.
So I had scraps, and that's what I tried to use up. So
Oh, nice.
and then I had done it digitally at the beginning, so that's why I didn't get very far. But so I used
Phew.
Enchanted Wizard,
Perfect.
and I used a fence along the edge, and I don't know how well it shows up in the video, but I put a 3D edge on the fence and on my photo mats here, so they
See the
kind
photo
of pop
mats,
out
yeah.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
So tried to do a couple of things, and I think at the end of this, I'll do a quick record of how to make this layout relatively easily using Artisan, because again, it's a mirror image. So once you've done one page, you can do the other one fairly quickly.
Nice, nice.
So did anybody else finish? All right. Well, then
I finished.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Lynn speaks.
You just
I had to get
barely made
myself
it on.
unmuted.
oh.
Nice to hear from you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Oh,
Oh my
nice.
goodness,
Oh,
that's beautiful.
Pretty.
So this is an old Creative Memories digital kit called Love Digital Kit, and I had these photos of my in-laws from their 40th anniversary, so I decided to use those.
I remember that kit. Wow, that is an old CM kit.
It is an old CM kit.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought it was
cool.
appropriate,
Yeah.
and I did use some shadowing on the edges of the cutter.
I see that.
Nice.
Very pretty.
Very nice. And you got some shadows on your triangles too, so they look like they're lifted up.
Right.
Nice.
I did do that.
Thanks for
Very
sharing.
nice.
That's really nice.
Yep, thank you.
And I think that's it. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed the project recipe, and we'll create a folder, and please share your layouts if you wish, so that other people can be inspired and see what you did. Thanks
Awesome.
very much.
Great class, Colleen. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
Colleen.